Or we find that in our context, there is a clear-cut distinction that foreign companies are allowed if they are ready to dilute their 40% foreign equity under FERA 1973. But at the same time, certain industries were identified and listed under 15th feature of 1977 industrial policy that these industries are listed where no foreign collaboration, financial or technical, was considered necessary, since indigenous technology was fully developed in this field. Sixteenth feature of 1977 industrial policy is related to foreign investment. For all approved foreign investment, industrial policy 1977 states that foreign investors should not be afraid of any such type of harsh conditions. There everything will be smooth, provided all foreign investors under the certain recommended rules, if they are, there will be no problem for them. So this 16th feature of industrial policy government decision of 23rd December 1977 states that for all approved foreign investment, complete freedom of profits, royalties, dividends, and repatriation of capital, subject to the rules and regulations common to all, was provided. So whatever foreign companies earn in India, they are free to repatriate to their own country. They are free to take their profit. They are free to take their royalties. They are free to take their dividend, and taking all this, they are free to repatriate, send to their original country of the world from where they have come here. No restrictions on repatriation of the profit amount, dividend amount, royalties amount. Every freedom will be there. Complete freedom. So it was declared that foreign investors should not worry with this 1977 industrial policy. It is clear cut that for all approved foreign investment, complete freedom of profits, royalties, dividends, and repatriation of capital is allowed. This is clearly indicated. And then the 17th feature of 1977 industrial policy states that only in highly export oriented or sophisticated technology area fully owned by foreign company were to be permitted. So this permission of repatriation of profit, dividend, royalties to their country In this context, it is said that only in a highly export-oriented and sophisticated technology area, fully owned foreign companies were to be permitted. Fully owned, 100% owned such type of technology industry will also be permitted. But this is limited to this only in highly export oriented or sophisticated technology area, fully owned foreign company were to be permitted. 18th feature of 1977 industrial policy states that it was also decided that compulsory export obligations merely for ensuring the foreign exchange balance of the project would no longer insisted upon while approving new industrial capacity. It is declared that license giving to the foreign company, previously it was a strict rule that they have to maintain foreign reserve in their balance sheet of the project so that there may not be a scarcity of foreign currency. We all know that in 1977, India was passing through the scarcity of foreign currency and FERA was established. And therefore, the scarcity of foreign currency problem may not be created by foreign company. So it is said that this restriction of it was also decided compulsory export obligations. Compulsory export obligations merely for ensuring the foreign exchange balance of the project would no longer insisted upon while approving the new industrial capacity. If they want to increase the new industrial capacity, then such type of clause is not applicable and insisted upon. That means holding a balance of foreign exchange, and there is a compulsory export obligations. Such type of things are not considered while giving the new license of new industrial capacity license. So what we find out that our government at that time thought that without foreign capital it is very difficult to have a development in highly technical, highly sophisticated, even export-oriented industry. So they have given indications that foreign country or foreign companies should not worry about their position. They are fully protected provided they are approved industry and following the rules and regulations in the country. Nineteenth feature of 1977 industrial policy of India is in cases of where a relaxation from industrial policy has also been accorded, especially on consideration of export alone. Compulsory export obligations would continue to be imposed and for sufficiently long period. It was made clear that industrial policy may provide some relaxations, especially on consideration of export alone. export obligations would continue to be imposed for sufficiently long period. There will be prime duty of the industry to maintain these compulsory export obligations so that it will solve the foreign exchange crisis in the country for which FERAI was established in our country in 1973. Then the 20th point of 1977 industrial policy is related to price control. We all know that in 70 the period was price control, and therefore in the areas of price control of agricultural and industrial products, the prices would be regulated to ensure an adequate return to the investors. This is a positive indication that price control must take into consideration that investors, either in the agriculture sector or industrial sector, would get adequate return to the investors. So the 20th point, 20th feature of 1977 industrial policy in the area of price control. In the area of price control of agricultural and industrial products, the prices would be regulated to ensure an adequate return to the investors. This is a positive attitude of the government regarding the investors must get adequate return, and this will continue investment in agriculture industrial products, even if the price control policy followed by the central government. 21st feature of 1977 industrial policy is related to the issue of sick industry. We all know that in our country, large number of industry are declared to be sick industry, and government at the center took over the management of the sick industry, and public funds were pumped into it. But even then, again it is found that sick industry is again sick industry. So it was the duty of the government to take into consideration and restoration of the management to the sick industry in selective cases, because large amount of public funds were pumped from the public exchequer. So it was decided by 1977 industrial policy that takeover of the management of sick units by the government would be restored to only selectively in view of the large amounts of public fund pumped into the sick units that have been taken over, but which continue to make losses, which have to be financed by the public exchequer. So there may be restoration of management to the sick industry, which were taken over by the takeover of the management of sick industries by the government may be restored selectively on the basis of their performance, because huge amount of money pumped by the public fund was pumped through the public exchequer. So it is found that even taking money, it remains a sick industry. But selectively, if there is possibility, that will be examined, and sick industry, there will be chances of restoration to selectively found industry. Then the industrial policy of 1977 is clear cut about the Sikh industry, their takeover and their restoration to only selectively in view of large amount of public fund pumped into the Sikh unit. Twenty-second feature of 1977 industrial policy states that the importance of balanced regional development. In order to secure balanced regional development, it was decided industrial licenses would not be issued to new industrial units for location within certain limits of large metropolitan cities having a population of more than 1 million and urban areas with a population of more than 5 lakh as per 1971 census. So it was pointed out that the new licenses to will be granted only take into consideration that these are not going to increase regional imbalance. In order to solve the regional disparity, locational factor will be considered by the government while granting the new license. Thus, we come to the conclusion that industrial policy of 1977, passed on 23rd December 1977, was just the opposite side of the 1956 industrial policy. 1956 industrial policy had taken large scale industry on the top, the small scale industry on the bottom. 1977 industrial policy had just topsy-turvy, just upside down. The small scale industry at the top, large scale industry at the bottom, with a continuous shifting of industry from the larger scale to the smaller scale sector, if it is possible, with the development and growth of smaller scale industries in the country, with the upgradation development of technology industry, development of indigenous technology, local talent, local technology, all these to be utilized for the purpose of industrial development, agricultural development, and removal of unemployment, poverty in the country, and it will be pointed that this will lead to the end of the concentration of capital in few hands. This will lead to the development of rural areas and urban areas in a proper way. So 1977 industrial policy had a major contribution in diverting the distortions and converting the distortions into the positive externality and solving the distortions by restructuring the industry and the policy. So 1977 industrial policy could not continue for a longer, because in 1980 again Congress party came to the power and which rejected the 1977 industrial policy, and 1980 industrial policy came into being, that we will discuss just now. So I wish you success in the examination. Mains examination is now coming to be held very in few months. So concentrate on your study and must subscribe, must comment, must write which topic you want to be taught by me. Thank you very much.